Looking for a way to support the channel? Check out the official MTG Goldfish playmats like Fatal Scoops at mtggoldfishmerch.com/YouTube. Use the coupon code YouTube for 5% off. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Much Abrew About Nothing. So last week, since we've been covering daily spoilers, we didn't actually have instant deck decks. So this week, we're just playing a fun deck that I wanted to try out in Modern, which is Esper Processor Blink. Kind of this weird Eldrazi-ish hate bear style deck, sort of, but really, it's trying to lock people out of the game with Ulamog's Nullifier and Eldrazi Displacer combined with a bunch of exile effects. So a pretty cool, unique take on, I don't even know, hate bears, Eldrazi, some weird mashup of the two. So a quick reminder before we break down Esper Processor Blink for Modern. If you enjoy this deck and you enjoy Much Abrew in general, it would be amazing of you if you could take a second, click that subscribe button down at the bottom of your screen. It's a great way to support the channel and the site for free. So let's talk Esper Processor Blink, starting with the card that kind of makes it all work, Eldrazi Displacer. We are an Eldrazi Displacer deck, and Displacer, we've played it before, we've even played it in budget decks. Basically, 3 mana, 3/3, which isn't bad, as devoid, meh, whatever. And you can pay 2 and a colorless mana to blink a creature, comes back into play tap. So we can use this to disrupt our opponent, blink their potential attackers or blockers, but really, we're trying to kind of pseudo combo off with our own creatures. So the cards that we have are pretty interesting in this deck. So our deck is very synergistic, and it's kind of in 2 parts. Apart from Displacer, we have cards that exile our opponent's stuff, and then cards that undo that exiling for value, essentially. So Tidehollow, Sculler, Thought-Knot Seer, both exile a card from our opponent's hand. Tidehollow, cheaper, also a little more fragile. If it dies, the exiled card returns to play. Thought-Knot Seer just gets rid of a card forever, but when it dies, our opponent gets to draw a card. Of course, we can also blink these for value, especially if we can get the card out from under, like Tidehollow Sculler. Then we have like a repeatable Thoughtseize effect on a body. We also have Deputy of Detention in Spell Queller, which exile our opponent's stuff. Spell Queller gets spells, converted mana cost 4 or less on the stack. Deputy Detention, permanents on the battlefield. And again, these cards are blinkable. So if we can get the card out from under them, the exiled card, then we're free to reset them with Eldrazi Displacer, or get even more value out of them by reusing the Enter the Battlefield trigger. So how do we go about getting cards out from under our Tidehollow Scullers, our Deputy Detentions, our Spell Quellers? And that's where our processors come in. So our processors are Wasteland Strangler and Ulamog's Nullifier, and these cards do a couple of things. First off, they're pretty powerful on their own. Wasteland Strangler 3/2 kills a relatively small creature when it comes into play, as long as we can put a card from our opponent's exile zone into their graveyard. Ulamog's Nullifier gotta process 2 cards rather than 1, but a 2/3 flying flash that counters a spell when it comes into play. So the trick here is, these cards give us ways to get the cards out from under our Spell Quellers, our Tidehollow Scullers, etc., which means our opponent can't just kill the Spell Queller to get the spell back and cast it, or kill the Tidehollow Sculler to get the spell back in their hand, and then, after we remove the spell by processing it, we're able to blink all of our stuff again, to reset it again, which creates this kind of weird endless value loop, where we can Ulamog's Nullifier repeatedly with Displacer to keep countering things, or Wasteland Strangler to keep killing things, or our Tidehollow Sculler to keep thought-seizing things. So that's kind of the main synergy of the deck. The other sort of like combo pieces are things that exile our opponent's graveyard. So these cards, again, kind of do double duty. They're pretty good in Modern right now anyway, because there's a lot of graveyard decks. Secondly, if we can get like Rest in Peace out, we have infinite processability. So we can use, let's say, our Ulamog's Nullifier to put 2 cards from exile into our opponent's graveyard, but those cards are just going to go right back to exile. So if we also have an Eldrazi Displacer, we basically have pay 3, blink our Ulamog's Nullifier, counter spell, do this any number of times, any turn, anytime we want. Same with Wasteland Strangler, we can keep killing small creatures. So that's pretty powerful if we can get it set up. So this gives us a way to just kind of exile a whole bunch of stuff. So if we don't draw our Thought-Knots, our Tidehollow Scullers, we still have processing fuel, and maybe even infinite processing fuel if we draw our rest in peace. Otherwise, Spellskite just protects our pieces, so our opponent can't kill our Displacer easily, can't kill our whatever, Thought-Knot or Tidehollow Sculler, eats a removal spell for something else. We can even, like, eat a removal spell with Spellskite and then blink it with Displacer to fizzle it and keep both of our creatures. One Wall of Omens, a bit of card draw, works well with the blinking plan. Otherwise, Aether Vial just gives us some ramp, cheats our stuff into play at instant speed, works really well with Displacer in specific, since instead of spending our mana to cast it, we can vial it into play, use our mana to blink something right away, path to exile for removal, and also puts things in exile, so works with the processing plan. Mana base, the other important part of the deck is colorless mana, because we have those Thought-Knot Seers, we have Displacer activations, so we gotta make sure we have some colorless mana to make our deck work. Here we have Cavernous Souls, colorless, also can make our stuff uncounterable, mostly on Eldrazi. Eldrazi Temple, extra mana plus colorless mana, Moorland Haunt. If our stuff dies, gives us some spirits from the graveyard. Otherwise, fetch lands, shock lands, basic lands. In the sideboard, we get a bunch of removal. Fatal Push, Celestial Purge, gets rid of things on the battlefield. Revoker, kind of a catch-all, good against Planeswalkers, Oblivion Stones, etc. Thoughtseize to attack our opponent's hand. More graveyard hate in Relic of Progenitus and Rest in Peace. Timely reinforcements for aggro, get some tokens, gain some life, put some blockers on the battlefield. Lingering Souls, really good to grind out games, and that is Esper Processor Blink for Modern, and that's our Much Abrew deck for this week. So I'm excited for this one. Ulamog's Nullifier is a really interesting card, and we get free main deck graveyard hate that isn't just graveyard hate. We've seen decks playing like Blue-White Control, playing Rest in Peace in the main deck, and they're playing that just to hate on our opponent's graveyard. In this deck, not only do we get to naturally hate on our opponent's graveyard, but even in the matchups where Rest in Peace isn't doing much against our opponent's deck, maybe they're not a graveyard deck, we still get value out of it thanks to our processors, which is a pretty neat little trick in our current Modern format. Plus, blinking things is fun, so we'll see how it goes. It's going to be fun, going to be interesting, and hopefully it's actually at least a little bit competitive. So anyway, that's our Much Abrew deck for this week. Esper Processor Blink for Modern. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon. Alright, Much Abrew about nothing time. We are playing some Esper Processor Blink, I guess we're going with, in Modern, and this hand's interesting. In some matchups, Double Path is great. In other matchups, it's going to be a bit sketchier, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think we keep it. It's good enough to try, opponent. Hopefully we draw some earlier game creatures. Island. Okay. Opponent passes. Oh, dear lord. All right. Well, Hallowed Fountain, go. That's few too many paths. Opponent, oh dear, takes a peek. Huh. Well, please be playing creatures, opponent. Please. Yeah, opponent gets to look, untaps. Opponent. Sulfur falls. And passes. Well, awkward. But Cavern on, I guess we're going zombies so we can cast Tidehollow Sculler. Tidehollow. Uncounterably. We could path it with the trigger on the stack, but then we're tapped out. So Tidehollow resolves. We get to see our opponent's hand. Oh, they're playing control. Is it Charm, Cryptic, Snapcaster, Felidar Guardian, etc., etc., etc.? Well, let's take Is it Charm. Pass the turn. Sadly, we have this Cavern on Zombie, which isn't the most ideal. Well, at least we know that our paths are relevant. This is, the fact that our opponent's playing a Felidar Guardian deck means that our paths are going to do something, which is good. Opponent passes. Oh, interesting. Well, go to combat, attack. Opponent Snapcasters for peak. Well, we will path Snapcaster. This does get our opponent a land. Yup. So opponent can flashback peak. Ugh. We're getting to this point where the Nullifier is going to be good, but we don't have the mana for it. Hit our opponent down to 18. Play Tidehollow. Well, Cavern on Zombie has sort of worked out, since we've run 2 Tidehollows. Tidehollow Sculler. And Lightning Bolt Cryptic. Well, we'll take the Bolt. Play Moorland Haunt, pass the turn. Opponent gets to peek, sees our not very good hand, draws a card. Oh man, come on! Cavern would be insane. Being able to cast this Nullifier to get these 2 spells out from under Tidehollow, that would be extremely helpful. Because we have this chain reaction effect going, where if our opponent kills one, they get back a removal spell, kill the other, get back a removal spell, Flooded Strand for our opponent. We know most of our opponent's hand. Oh, come on, Black Source. Or Cavern. Opponent passes. Ugh. Well, go to combat. Attack. Oh, these nullifiers would be so good. Opponent down to 14. We pass the turn. Opponent cracks Flooded Strand. Steam Vents. Tapped. Vendilion Click. Going to target us. Sure. I don't even know if they take anything. Maybe they do. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess another Tidehollow isn't the worst. Opponent untaps. Still would feel way more comfortable if we could get these cards out from under Tidehollow. Loot House. Opponent. Combat. Attacks. Yup. Down to 17. Reflector Mage, eh? That's actually doubly bad. That's a really good draw for our opponent. Because now we can't even cast this Tidehollow next turn. Huh. Alright, let's path Tidehollow. We gotta get black mana somehow. Yup. Grab our Swamp. Finally. Unfortunately, opponent's got the Bolt back, which they can use to kill this other Tidehollow. So we're kind of getting that chain reaction. Nullifier is just a smidge late. Opponent passes. Flooded Strand. Oh, play Flooded Strand. Well, let's Actually, let's think about this. Yeah, let's Tidehollow Sculler. Uncounterable. Number 3. Just keep drawing them. Oh, mistapping. Alright, so Tidehollow number 3. Opponent going to bolt the Tidehollow. So now I think we crack Flooded Strand. Grab an Island. Nullifier. Counter Lightning Bolt. Get the card under Tidehollow and Snapcaster. Okay, that worked. Now Tidehollow resolves. Yeah, I guess we take Felidar Guardian and pass the turn. If we leave them with Felidar, they can just play it, blink Reflector Mage, bounce Tidehollow. Serum Visions. Yup. Well, this game is close. It is definitely close. And we technically have another Nullifier for next turn. And if stuff starts to die, we can make 1/1s. So we're not in bad shape here, really. Opponent passes. Well, go to combat. Get in with Nullifier. Opponent blocks. Yup. Play Polluted Delta, pass the turn. Opponent goes looting. Gets rid of a land. Colonnade. Alright. That is a threat. We know there's still a Cryptic in hand. Ugh, another Reflector Mage, eh? Huh. Yeah, I guess that just works, unfortunately. If we try to Cryptic, it gets countered. So opponent's going to bounce our Tidehollow Sculler. Yep. Gets back Felidar Guardian, but can't cast it. Opponent attacks. Well, we will exile Nullifier. Double block. Kill Reflector Mage. We do have to be aware of Saheeli Rai. Saheeli Rai coming down and just comboing off is a threat. So there goes Tidehollow. No card, yup. Well, crack Polluted Delta. Grab a Godless Shrine. Tapped. Untap. Is it worth processing the last card? Well, go to combat. Get in with the Spirit. We only have one card in exile at the moment, which is not great. Alright, I think we just have to pass and hope that they don't hit Saheeli. Wow, they didn't loot. Interesting. I think you should loot for Saheeli there, because if they hit Saheeli, they just win. We know they have Cryptic Felidar Guardian in hand. Things get slightly better if we make it till next turn. If we make it till next turn, we can uncounterable Tidehollow and then leave up Nullifier. Oh, did our opponent just top deck the win? That would be unfortunate. Gonna blink Reflector Mage. Bounce our Spirit. Okay. Alright. Did not top deck the win. Opponent passes. Well, we will make a 1/1. Eat the Tidehollow. Untap. Ooh, Displacer too. Go to combat again with our Spirit. Step 1. Play Tidehollow Sculler. Wow, they were a mana short. What is safer? Yeah, I guess we take Kiki Jiki. Pass the turn. We can't play anything. We need this Nullifier up. Having to set this Cavern on zombie is slightly awkward. Actually, very awkward, come to think of it. We've also burnt through most of our paths. Opponent fires up Colonnade. Okay. Goes to combat. Attacks. When it enters the battlefield, you move it 2 cards. Okay. Well, we'll take our beats for 6. Down to 9. Opponent passes. Oh, and we drew a path. That's good. Well, go to combat. Attack. Opponent blocks. Yup. So we will play Wasteland Strangler. Kill Felidar Guardian. Get rid of Kiki-Jiki. Play Eldrazi Displacer. Pass the turn. Alright, things are shaping up. Alright. A little bit less shapely. Well, opponent has Cryptic in hand. That's our 1 card. But we dealt with both combo pieces, so our opponent's not close to combo killing us. Opponent. Combat. Yeah, so we will Path Colonnade. Alright, threat down. And now we have 2 more cards in exile for this Nullifier. Opponent. Land. Okay. Only Cryptic left. Opponent passes. Ooh. Relic is a sweet, sweet draw. Well, go to combat. Attack. Opponent blocks. Okay. So play Relic. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Passes. Well, exile a card. Make a Spirit. Untap. Go to combat. Attack. Opponent. Down to 5. Well, pass the turn. Oh, I wish we had double Nullifier mana. Opponent's gonna loot. Yup. Discards a Remand. Untaps. Serum Visions. Oh, this is a really close game. Top bottom. Opponent. Cryptic 2 unknown cards. And passes? Alright, so we first make a Spirit. Then we exile the graveyards. Draw a card. Untap. Go to combat. Opponent's going to Cryptic, so we will attempt to Nullifier. Resolves. Put the Reflector Mages in the graveyard. Counter Cryptic. Did we get there? Is that actually going to work? Boy, this would be so much easier if Cavern was on Eldrazi, but it's working. Attack. Opponent. Snapcaster to chump block and stay alive. Okay. And opponent scoops it up? Whoa! All right. That worked. Well, that was pretty impressive. Man, with Cavern on a very awkward zombie, it was still enough. Well, against control, I think we want another Relic. I think we want... Opponent scoops the match? That can't be this match. There's no way. Whoa! Opponent is done! They just scooped it up. Well, I didn't think we beat him that bad. That was actually a really close game, but we'll take it, I guess. Sweet. All right, much brew about nothing time. We are Esper blinking our way through Modern, and I mean, this is a slow-ish hand. Well, opponent Thaw Seizes. Well, our hand's slow, but our opponent mulliganed to 5. So we're ahead just in terms of raw cards. Takes Deputy. Opponent's on the... I don't have many cards. Got to try to janky out plan, I think. Pluto Delta. Crack it. Grab our Swamp and Ether Vial. Pass the turn. Twilight Mire for our opponent. And there's a Goyf. Yeah, that's a big old boy or girl. All right. Take it up. Hallowed Fountain. Tapped. Pass the turn. Thankfully, opponent only has 2 cards in hand. Well, 3 cards in hand now. Blackleaf Cliffs. Combat. Attacks. Hits us. Passes. Well, take up our Vial. Awkward. Very awkward. Yeah, I guess we just play Ether Vial. Play Godless Shrine. Pass the turn. Opponent. Untap Stomping Grounds. Are we just going to get beat by 5-card Jund on the play? It's sort of looking like it. Well, at least Red Boar's a whiff. Opponent. Combat. Getting in. 1 card in hand. Hits us. We don't have any colorless mana, which is a little annoying. So we can't actually activate our Displacer. But take up Vial. Take up Vial. Draw Relic. Well, play Flooded Strand. Pass the turn, I guess. We're going to have to start blocking. Raging Ravine. Opponent. Combat. Attacks. Well, Vial and Displacer. Crack Flooded Strand. White, white, black, black. Let's take an island. Run out Nullifier. Block. Yeah, block and take 3. Another Goyf. Alright. Opponent passes. Well, tick up to 4. Tick up to 2. Play Relic of Progenitus. Still no colored mana. Pass the turn. Opponent. 6 is not the healthiest of life totals. Dark Confidant. I don't think we can let that resolve. So, opponent has 0 cards in exile. Well, I guess we crack Relic, Violin Nullifier, put back the cards, opponent passes. Okay. So, we're leaving Vials where they are. We would still really love some colorless mana. No. No colorless mana. Well, pass the turn. Stop on our opponent's draw step. Ether Vial. Tidehollow Sculler. Opponent drew Fatal Push. Well, okay. Spell Queller. We actually mostly don't want... mostly do not want that in the graveyard because it grows the Goyfs. Opponent. Man, Eldrazi Temple would be insane. It would be so helpful. Or... Wow! Wow! Opponent has had enough. Interesting. I did not think we had him. That game still seemed very active, but our opponent scoops it up, and I mean, that is acceptable. All right, Jund. Playing Jund. What do we want versus Jund? Our deck already has a lot of things that are decent against Jund. What do we not want is probably a better question. Lingering Souls is good against Jund. Celestial Purge is removal. Fatal Push is removal. And then our Graveyard Hate is actually relevant too. The question is, how do we make all this stuff fit? That's 6 cards. That's a lot. I guess we can like go down the Wall of Omens. Maybe go down 1 Spell Skite. Go down 1 Deputy of Detention. What else? What else? Wasteland Strangler kills some stuff. Maybe we can't go that much Graveyard Hate. Maybe that's excessive. They're not a graveyard deck, really. And I guess it's a little awkward to bring in more Rest in Pieces and bring in Lingering Souls. Deputy's just gonna die. Alright, go down 1 Nullifier, I guess. Even though Nullifier's so sweet in this deck. Let's try it like that. I don't know. I'm not sure the best way to sideboard in this matchup. It's close. Ugh. You know what? We're going to keep this. It's a 1-lander! I know I'm going to get yelled at, but this is a pretty good 1-lander. Inquisition. We have 2 good 1-drops. A removal spell and a relic. Opponent takes the relic. Interesting. We only need 1 land to get to our removal. Flooded Strand, go. I mean, of course we could just never draw another land, and then we lose. Opponent. Dark Confidant. Well, that's gotta die, unfortunately. Crack, get a Godless Shrine, untapped. Ugh. Yeah, alright. Ramp ya. Enjoy your free land, opponent. Oh, come on, please land. Please land. Please land. Displacer. Alright. Well, I guess this is a reason why you don't keep 1-landers. Opponent passes. Eldrazi Temple. Well, play Displacer. That is a land. Opponent's pretty far ahead, though. Kills our Displacer. Cracks. Yeah, missing that land drop makes things very difficult. Fires up Raging Ravine. Gets in. Yeah, I feel like we're just dead. Yeah, well, alright. Godless Shrine tapped. Pass the turn. Yeah, we're pretty dead. That was a really good 1-land hand, but not good enough. Getting down the Relic would have been pretty nice. So I guess we need to draw a Path or Fatal Push. Assuming we get another turn. Opponent's got the old upkeep stop set. Opponent, combat. Gets in. Yeah, down to 3. Does not Raging Ravine correctly. Bloodstained Mire. Liliana. And we'll discard. Nullifier. Purge Liliana. Untap. Land. Yeah, we're done. We'd have to double chump. Well, we hit our lands eventually. We just hit them a smidge too late. Alright, run it back. We're on the play this time, which is good. Maybe it was too greedy. It's close, I think. Alright, we are on the play. Alright. I guess we keep it. We got vials. Our mana's clunky. Very clunky. Good old basic island. Well, Eldrazi Temple and Ether Vial. Pass the turn. Blooming Marsh and Thoughtseize. Takes a Thought-Knot Seer and passes. Well, take up Vial. Play Vial. Play Flooded Strand. Pass the turn. Swamp for our opponent and a Goyf. Yeah, let's crack Flooded Strand. Grab a Godless Shrine. So our mana's going to work out. Untap. Take up our Ether Vials. Draw. Oh my god. Well, play the island. Ether Vial. The curse of the Ether Vial. It's really good at certain points of the game. A little bit worse at other parts of the game. Opponent gets in for 3. We take it. Opponent. Catacombs. Cracks Catacombs. Blood Crypt. Untapped. And Liliana takes up. Well, I guess one thing the 3rd Ether Vial is good for is discarding. Take up our vials. Take up our vials. Ooh, Displacer A. That's an interesting one. Unfortunately, our mana doesn't let us do everything. And Liliana's going to get one of our cards. Alright, I think we just have to pass. Opponent, combat. Attacks. Well, we will path the Goyf. Opponent. Takes up. Oh, this is so tough. Yeah, discard Wasteland Strangler. There's the Bob. We were concerned about that. Well, Vial, Displacer, and there's a Bolt. Yeah. That is the nightmare. That is the exact combination of cards we needed not to happen. Well, tick up. Now there's an active Bob, and we have to draw removal. Spell Queller, not helpful. Pass the turn. Ugh. The nightmares. Maelstrom Pulse for our opponent. Ticks up. Well, I mean, we will Vial and a Spell Queller. But yeah, that Dark Confidant does it. Maybe we should have held on to the Wasteland Strangler. Eldrazi Displacer is so much better. It's hard to overstate how much better Displacer is, but opponent had the Bob to punish us. Well, no. I mean, Lingering Souls is cute, but we know they hit a Maelstrom Pulse, so it's not actually helpful. Dark Confidant, take it up. Hitting the lands. Liliana is to ultimate. We drew a few too many Ether Vials this game, unfortunately. That's the TLDR. Lots of vials, not enough action. Opponents arranging things. Still arranging things. Yeah, I don't think there's any path to victory now. Liliana Ultimate, really good. We know our opponent has Maelstrom Pulse. We don't have mana to cast anything. Yeah, that does it. Alright. Well, that was a rough one. Well, we'll blink them next time. Alright, much Brew About Nothing time. We are playing some Esper Processors, Esper Blink in Standard and Modern. And this hand's okay. Let's Eldrazi Temple, Ether Vial. Pass the turn. We got the old double Ether Vial draw again. Opponent. Ether Vial's a funny card. It's so strong, but it is also very bad in some situations. Street Wraith cycled. Burning Inquiry. Well, there goes our extra goes our extra Ether Vial, so that worked out, I guess. Although we ended up with a lot of lands. Take up Vial. Nullifier. So let us... How do we want to do this? Cavern of Souls on Eldrazi. Play Displacer. Pass the turn. We need some graveyard exiling to get this Nullifier going. Opponent, Blackleaf Cliffs. And that's Gurmag Angler. Well, we can blink it out of the way. And that is some cards in exile, which is what we were asking for, so thank you, opponent. Take up Ether Vial. Flooded Strand. Play Flooded Strand. Pass the turn. Mountain for our opponent. Goblin Lower. We could counter this. I guess we should. Let's crack Flooded Strand. Grab a island. Yeah, let's do it. Nullifier. Thankfully, Gurmag Angler put a few cards in exile for us. So we'll put back Bloodstained Mire and Mountain. Counter the Goblin Lore. And now we have a soft lock. We don't have that many cards in exile. But we can keep doing this if we leave up Displacer mana. Opponent, thinking it over. I guess we're kind of ahead on the race, too, because our opponent hurt themselves a bit. Combat. Opponent attacks. Yeah, we're not going to block. We'll take 5. Down to 14. Well, Ether Vial. Put a Wall of Omens into play. Draw a... Oh, that is a great draw. Well, take up Ether Vial to 3. And a Spell Queller. Oh, this is looking wonderful. Go attacking. Hit our opponent. Down to 10. Play Path to Exile. Or play Plane so we can leave up Path to Exile past the turn. Opponent untaps. Combat. Attacks. Well, let's just Path Angler. Get it out of here. Get another card in exile. And if our opponent does anything, we can just blink. Tassiger. Yeah, I mean, this is what our deck came here to do. Blink Nullifier. And this is sort of a lock. The blink lock. Aw, Lightning Ball. Boo. Boo, boo, boo. Well, this means we still have a Displacer, though, which is good. Yeah, that's fine. Opponent passes. We could have Spell Quellered it. I don't even think it's actually necessary here. No to Vial. Wasteland Strangler. Well, that's tricky. Godless Shrine, untapped. Go to combat. Attack with Displacer. If our opponent blocks, we get to Strangler it. Opponent blocks. Yeah, well, we will Vial in Wasteland Strangler. Tassiger, process a Mountain. Kill Tassiger, pass the turn, Spell Queller, or 2 blinks available, and this is where we want to be. Bloodstained Mire for our opponent. Cracks it. This deck is sweet. When it's doing its thing, it's pretty sweet. Blood Crypt tapped. Opponent. Gurmag Angler. Sure. And passes. Well, 1, 2, 3. Blink Wall of Omens. Draw a card. Another path. Yeah, let's go shields down. If our opponent kills our Displacer, it's not the end of the world. Draw a card. Rest in peace. I don't even know if we want to show our opponent rest in peace. No to Vial, even on 3. Cavern on Eldrazi. Path Angler. And opponent, they're done. They are done, and we just blinked them right out of existence, essentially. Well, that went pretty well. I don't know if we change a whole lot here. Graveyard Hate is good. Hollow ones are to be aware of. Wasteland Strangler is actually slightly more hit or miss. I could see trimming. Maybe we just go Relic, Rest in Peace, Purge. Wasteland Strangler, and maybe 1 Spellskite and just run it like that. Fatal Push doesn't get any of their big threats. Lingering Souls is fine, but we're bringing in a bunch of Graveyard Hate. It isn't a bad stabilization card, though. Maybe we can go down the Spellskite and keep the and bring in a Lingering Souls. That's probably fine. Alright, try it like that. Well, game 1 went well. We're on the draw here for game number 2, and... Alright. Well, we got a Rest in Peace. Hopefully it works. Opponent. Flameblade Adept. We do not have an easy answer to that. Opponent, passing. Hallowed Fountain, tapped. Pass the turn. Opponent. Bloodstained Mire. Combat. Attacks. Cracks. They have instant speed. Cycle's a hollow one, sure. Alright. Down to 18. A Flooded Strand. Crack it. Grab a Plains. And rest in peace. Pass the turn. Well, now we gotta deal with this Flame Blade, is the main thing. Blood Crypt. Bloodghast. Sure. Opponent, combat. Could use some Path to Exiles. That would be great. Gets in, hits us. 16. Passes. Well, alright. Watery Grave. Untapped. Down to 14. Tidehollow Sculler. See what's in our opponent's hand. Oh, they have double removal? I'll take the Fatal Push. Play Ether File. Pass the turn. Oh, we really need a removal spell. Our opponent's got a very uncastable hand. Bolt, get back Fatal Push. But we are at risk of just losing to these random dorks if we can't get some defense going. Opponent, combat. Attacks. They do have another removal spell as well. Hits us. Cycles. Gets in that one more damage. Yeah. Down to 10. Opponent. Passes. Well, we get to take up Vial. Ew, Eldrazi Temple, eh? Well, play Eldrazi Temple. Pass the turn. Opponent. Collective Brutality. Well, Nullifier. Gotta save any bit of life possible. They discarded the Angler. So we kind of have a combo, so we can just process essentially for free. And the cards go right back to the exile zone. So counter it, opponent grows Flame Blade. We will definitely block Bloodghast if our opponent attacks with it. Just gotta try to keep our life total high. That is the name of the game. Ooh, they drew a Bolt. Alright, well that's a good draw. Opponent hits us to 6. Yeah, this is sketchy. Opponent passes. Well, tick up to 2. Play another Ether File. Pass the turn. Fatal Push, 1 unknown in hand. Opponent. Combat. Attacks. Well, I mean, we run it back. Nullifier. Block Bloodghast. Kill Bloodghast. Drop to 5. There's a Fatal Push. Opponent passes. Well, take up the Vials. Take up the Vials. 3 and 1. We draw. Path to Exile solid. Alright. We will pass the turn. This gets rid of that Flame Blade Adept. We're still at 5. Opponent's down 2 bolts and 1 Collective Brutality. Opponent, combat, attacks. Well, we will definitely path Flame Blade. Opponent gets a land. Violin, Displacer, untap. So Vials, let's see. Stay on 3 for now. Go up to 2. Go to combat, attack. Hit our opponent. Godless Shrine, tapped. Pass the turn. Opponent, untaps. We probably should take this up to 4 last turn. Lightning bolts our face. Well, yeah. We can't have that. Nullifier. Process. Counter. Goblin Lore spins the wheel. Tap land. Opponent, passing. Alright. Well, now we will, I guess we tick up. Yeah, go tick up to 4 and 3 and leave them there. Spell Queller's good. Go to combat, attack. And now we just gotta play the tempo game. We can use this Nullifier every turn. We got a Spell Queller. This is pretty much the Blink lock. I think this might be enough. It might be enough. It was close. Opponent, Hardcast Street Wraith. Well, this is an easy call. We will Blink Nullifier. Comes back. Fake process. Opponent knows they're locked and scopes it up, and that's where the deck is a thing of beauty. That is, I don't think I've ever seen anyone playing Ulamog's Nullifier like this before, and it's pretty sweet. Graveyard Hate's good right now. It works so well with Displacer. Really sweet synergy, and it's kind of powerful, too. And it definitely kind of locked him there. I mean, Rest in Peace was a big deal. That stranded a lot of our opponent's hand, but Rest in Peace is good in Modern right now, so, score. Sweet. All right. Much brew about nothing time. We are playing some Esper Blink. Esper Processors? Esper Processor Blink in Modern. Oh, dear God. Okay. Well, I don't know how this hand matches up with Tron. I don't know how this deck matches up with Tron, honestly. Please no second Tron land. Please no. All right, Forest. So no turn 3 Tron. That's a little something. Well, Crack Polluter Delta. We have a lot of sweet grindy value, but I don't know if we are fast or disruptive enough to actually beat Tron. Play Moorland Haunt. I guess we play Spellskite? Go Spellskite. I guess it can eat a Karn activation. That's sort of something. Opponent grabs a Power Plant, untaps, and Power Plant. Alright, well, Tron for next turn. Oh dear. Passes. Alright, well, Eldrazi Temple is a draw. That does let us Thought Knot. And maybe get rid of a finisher. Thought Knot Seer. Karn, Ancient. Alright, well, we gotta take the Karn, and now we just have to hope that our opponent misses on finishers, and that maybe we can exile enough stuff to get these nullifiers going and, like, tempo them out. They do have enough mana to Ancient Stirrings and play a Karn if they hit it. And they only have one card in exile for, yeah, Ancient Stirrings. Come on. No Karn number 2. Something beatable. Please. Chromatic Sphere. How about another one of those? I don't even know if we have Tron answers. They haven't snapped anything off, which is a good sign. Either that or they're choosing between, like, oh my god. They have the Karn. Plays the Karn. Takes up the Karn. Well, we will get rid of a land. Yeah, get rid of Flooded Strand. Opponent passes. Play Polluted Delta. Go to combat. Hit the Karn. Man, it is so hard to beat through a Karn. Polluted Delta. Crack it. Grab a Godless Shrine. Untapped. Tidehollow Sculler. Take the Ugin. Pass the turn. Opponent. They do get to keep exiling stuff from our hand, though. And they, well, I mean, we'll see. We do technically have 2 cards in exile for Nullifier. Opponent. Sphere. Cracks it. Green mana. We don't have any Ghost Quarters, though, so we don't have a way to just deal with the Tron land. Ghost Quarter. Opponent. What did they find? Takes up. Well, we will get rid of, Spell Queller, I guess? Oh, they drew it. Huge Walking Ballista. Opponent. Passing. Yeah, that is a really good draw for our opponent. Displacer, but we can't activate it. Well, go to combat. Attack Karn. Yep. Hits Karn. They have how much mana? 7, 8, 9. So that's 2 more counters. Yeah. I think this kills us. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Yeah, we needed them to not hit another finisher last turn, but that didn't work out. And we're not even really making any progression. We're just kind of keeping Karn mostly where it started. +4 is just so much plussing. Takes it up. Well, Nullifier down. We're down a lot of cards. Opponent. Counter on Walking Ballista. Combat. Passes. Alright, untap. We draw land. Well, play Flooded Strand. Crack Flooded Strand. Grab a island. Play Displacer. Displace Ballista. But our opponent can put a counter on it. Then they can kill Tidehollow Sculler. Even through the Spellskite. Oh, interesting. Okay. Pings Displacer. Pings Displacer. Our opponent might have messed this up. Alright. Well, change target to Spellskite. Change target to Spellskite. Okay. Change target. Actually, okay, now we let it go. So they kill Displacer. Ballista goes away. We get to attack Karn for 6. But it goes up to 8, so we still can't kill it. Oh, man. Yeah. Just so much mana. I don't know if I've ever beat Tron when they've just had Tron forever. And have Karn forever. Like, they had turn 4 Karn, and we're up to turn 7. Karn has exiled a million cards from our hand. We're sort of staying alive, barely, but we haven't damaged our opponent at all. And there's still a Karn. And eventually, they're going to hit more Ancient Stirrings, more finishers. Really hard to beat Tron when they just have a finisher and have active Tron. Opponent. Thinking it over. Takes up. Snags our last card. Yup. Those nullifiers would have been sweet if they weren't Karn fodder. Oh no. More? Opponent. 8 mana. They drew another ballista. Ugh. Yeah. Well, the way you can maybe sometimes beat... Yeah, alright. The way you can maybe sometimes beat Tron once they have Tron... Oh, is hope that they don't draw finishers, but our opponent did draw finishers. So this is going to be a challenge. We can bring in 2 Phyrexian Revokers. We can bring in 3 Thought Seizes, I guess. I do not like this matchup, though, even a little. Go down the path to Exiles. Go down the Rest in Pieces. Go down Wall of Omens. Go down Wasteland... Actually, let's go down Wasteland Stranglers and leave Wall of Omens. And I think we just run it like that. Yeah, I mean, this is what we got. Oh, our Kingdom for a Fulminator Mage, or a Ghost Quarter, or something. Yikes. Well, we'll see. Not being able to deal with Tron is super sketchy. Alright, well, we got an Aether Vial. That's a magic card. Revoker, I guess, is technically our best... as much as it pains me to say it, is technically our best card in this matchup. Now, I guess that shows how bad this matchup is for our deck. If Phyrexian Revoker is like your go-to sideboard card against Tron, life is not great. I think our best draw is Eldrazi Temple to actually cast these 4-drops on time. But we're mostly hoping that Tron does sometimes lose to itself. That is a thing that occasionally happens. So I think that's mostly what we are rooting for, is our opponent to stumble a bit, and maybe we can take advantage. Force for our opponent. Aegis Stirrings hits a tower. Alright, Tron piece number 1. Opponent passes. We get to take up our Aether Vial. Yup. Watery Grave tapped. Pass the turn. Opponent. Tower. Chromatic Sphere. Cracks it. Oh dear. That is a lot of Ancient Stirrings. Another Tron land. It's almost like Ancient Stirrings is really, really good. I'll take up Aether Vial. So far, it's just been tutor for missing Tron land. Cavern of Souls. Well, Godless Shrine tapped. Oh, the slowest. The slowest of slow. Pass the turn. Opponents just casually Ancient Stirrings to put together Tron, which is unfortunate. Opponent. So, I mean, I guess next turn we get to Thought Knot, Power Plant, Chromatic Sphere, cracks it. Alright, well, Tron is assembled, unfortunately. Opponent passes. Well, we're going to leave Vial on 2 for this Revoker. Play Cavern of Souls on Eldrazi. Play Thought Knot Seer. Hope that our opponent's hand is Finisher Light. Well, take... Thragtusk. Well, okay. I mean, we have a plan. We can Revoker Oblivion Stone, we can Path Wormcoil, and then we hope that we can kill our opponent. Now, let's Aether Vial. Revoker. On Oblivion Stone. Okay. Opponent. Sphere. Cracks it. Star. Opponent passes. We only have 1 card in exile at the moment. Yep. Well, we take up Aether Vial, play Eldrazi Temple, go to combat, attack, hit our opponent, down to 14, pass the turn. Alright, let's see what they find. Crack Star, yup. Sylvan Scrying, okay. Get Sanctum of Ugin, play Sanctum of Ugin. Wormcoil, okay. And Expedition Map. Well, I mean, I think our plan is Path Wormcoil, spell Queller Expedition Map to get our clock to 2 turns, untap, keep Vial on 3, draw a land, go to combat, attack. I mean, we have enough cards in exile. This is it. This is it. Opponent's at 6. Can we fade 1 more turn with Ulamog's Nullifier? Opponent, 6 mana, Wormcoil Engine. That does stop us from killing our opponent. Yeah, I mean, this is it. We gotta go for it. Nullifier. Put back Expedition Map and Thragtusk. Counter it. And opponent scoops it up, and we got the through Tron win. Well, maybe we should give Revoker more credit. Revoker, that's our sideboard card, and it was enough that game. Somehow. Somehow, some way. Okay. That worked. Somehow. Let's go down a Spellskite and leave one more path. It seems like our opponent brought in a bunch of Worm Coils, so we do need to be able to cleanly answer Worm Coil. On the draw against Tron. Ugh, one land. Then on the mulligan on the draw against Tron. Well, that was pretty impressive. Our opponent put together Tron, but we were able to tempo him out somehow. Still feels like a really difficult matchup. Yeah, we got a mulligan. Opponent's keeping 7. All right. Revoker. Oh, Revoker. Can we keep it on top? Yeah, I think we do. All right. We got an Ether Vial, technically. Mine, Sphere. Opponent passes. Well, Flooded Strand, crack it. Grab a Hollowed Fountain. Untapped. Ether Vial. Pass the turn. We would like a land. Opponent. Cracks, green. Ancient Stirrings. Come on. One time. One time whiff. One time. Let's see a bad Stirrings. Oblivion Stone. Ghost Quarter. Well, that's not bad. It's not great. Ether Vial, definitely ticking up. Not a land. Well, play Relic of Progenitus. Exile. Pass. Opponent. Oh, if this Ether Vial dies, we are in all sorts of trouble. Oh, opponent's missing a land. That's encouraging. Opponent passes. We take up Vial. Draw Displacer. All right, let's sack Relic, see if we can draw land. All right, Cavern on Eldrazi. Pass the turn. Opponent. Do they hit a land? Wow. Okay. Well, opponent's going down a Tron land to get green mana. So they can Sylvan Scrying back a Tron land. Yup. Gets a mine. Well, we will Ether Violin, Revoker on Walking Ballista. Opponent discarding the hand size. We do have hope. A land here would also be nice. Take up Vial to 3. That's a land. Well, play the land. Go to combat. Get in with Revoker. Hit our opponent. Play Displacer. Pass the turn. The clock is increasing. We can Vial in the Spell Queller. There's the mine. Sylvan Scrying. Well, Ether Vial, Spell Queller. Stop Sylvan Scrying. Opponent. Passing. Well, Ether Vial, take it up to 4. Cavern. Play Cavern on Eldrazi. Oh, it might be happening. It might be happening. Thought Not Seer. What's in that hand? Not many lands. We will take Chromatic Star. Go to combat. Attack. We're going to beat Tron. Well, this is kind of what we were hoping for, is that our opponent would get a fizzly hand and we could take advantage. Opponent. Sylvan Scrying. Vial. Nullifier. Good game, Tron. And that does it. That does it. That's lethal. Opponent scoops it up. Whoa. Whoa. Well, maybe the matchup isn't as bad as I thought. Actually, I think it is. We literally don't have many cards that are relevant, but I mean, the tempo plan worked insanely well. That was probably the most impressive we've seen this deck, honestly. We kept a one-lander with Ether Vial, and we were just able to shut off basically all of our opponent's stuff with our Revoker into Counterspell, into Thought Not Seer, and we even left the game with a Deputy of Detention left over in case our opponent did manage to, like, somehow stabilize and get to Oblivion Stone or Worm Coil. We had an answer for that, and wow. That was sweet. That was a very impressive performance for this deck in a matchup where, going into it, having 0 ways to interact with the lands, it felt very scary and bad, but, well, the deck kind of proved itself there for sure. Sweet. All right, much brew about nothing time. We are playing some, Displacer, Displacer. Well, there are Displacers. Processor Blink, Esper Processor Blink. This hand, in some matchups it's great, but we don't really have any action. I think we got a mulligan. Well, alright. I guess this is sort of better. We'll keep Thought Not. Well, Cavern on Eldrazi. And Ether Vial. Pass the turn. Opponent. Forest. Dominaria Forest. Is this Tron again? Please no. Please not Tron. It's Tron again. Oh dear. Well, we beat him once. We proved it's possible with no Tron hate. Well, take up Ether Vial. Yeah. Godless Shrine. Untapped. Play Spellskite. Pass the turn. Opponent. Oh boy. I was hoping we would not have to play Tron again. Opponent passes. Well, take a Vial to 2. Opponent cracks their map. I guess they're worried about Leonin Arbiter. We do not have Ghost Quarters or Leonin Arbiters. We do have Eldrazi Temple, which is not a bad draw. So we get to Thought-Knot Seer. Snag something. Oh, goodness. Goodness gracious. So, Tron will be assembled. They have Expedition Map. We could take Expedition Map, but then Ancient Stirrings assembles. Karn isn't beatable. Alright. I guess we take Karn. Take Karn. Hope that our opponent runs out Oblivion Stone in a way that we can snag it with Deputy of Detention off Aether Vial. Map. Land. Oh, they are going to have the mana to wrath our board next turn. That's not good. Opponent passes. Well, take up Aether Vial. Wall of Omens. Well, go to combat. Get in for 4. Hit our opponent. Down to 16. Play Polluted Delta. Wall of Omens. Draw a card. Spell Queller? Alright. Pass the turn. Well, now we basically have to hope for our opponent to misplay. Opponent cracks. Because they have enough mana they can play and crack Oblivion Stone right away. Which means our board should be getting wrathed here. Power Plant. Oblivion Stone. Yeah. Opponent passes. I don't even think we have a draw that changes this. Well, crack Polluted Delta. Grab a Watery Grave tapped. Untap. Vial. Stay on 3, I guess. Wasteland Strangler. Go to combat. Get in with Thought-Knot Seer. Opponent takes it. Yeah. Now all we can do is pass, because our opponents can wrath our board. Here comes the wrath. Opponent gets to draw a card. Ugh. That is a disaster. Opponent. Ancient Stirrings. Karn. And, alright, we will scoop it up. Oh, dear God. Well, this feels like such a bad matchup, but we did beat it once. That is a thing that happened. So, you never know. Maybe we could do it again. I think it probably gets slightly better. Very, very slightly better in games 2 and 3. But not much, because we still don't really have any land destruction. Yeah, go down to Spellskite. Let's try it like that. I mean, the way we can maybe win is basically to tempo our opponent out. That's what we saw in our last match against Tron. The way we win is to be the aggressor, counter or disrupt our opponent just enough to get in lethal, and hopefully our opponent stumbles a bit on their draws and does not have, like, turn 3, turn 4 Tron, but has, like, turn 5, turn 6 Tron. Then we have a chance. I think our odds of beating turn 3 Tron are really, really low. And turn 4 Tron is still not great. Okay. I guess we keep this. So turn 1, Eldrazi Temple, Aether Vial. We have 2 cards that are somewhat good, that disrupt our opponent. There's the map. Oh boy, is this a turn 3 Tron hand? Alright, Aether Vial, take it up. Nullifier. So play Relic of Progenitus. Play Flooded Strand. Pass the turn. Opponent. Oh, please, not a Tron land. Forest, okay. Well, that gives us a twinge of hope. Crack Flooded Strand. Opponent's going to Nature's Claim Aether Vial. Alright, sure. That means they're not cracking their map this turn. Take a Watery Grave tapped. Exile, Nature's Claim. Untap. Hallowed Fountain. Play Thought-Knot Seer. Snag a... So opponent has Tron. Oh, this is actually very difficult. Okay, so we take Oblivion Stone. And then trust that we can counter the other stuff is the plan. That's our best bet for winning. Opponent. Stirrings before map. Another Oblivion Stone. Mine. Opponent passes. Well, exile. Untap. Draw. Thoughtseize. Ooh. But we can't do 2 things. Let's get in with Thought-Knot. Hit our opponent. Down to 16. Pass the turn. Opponent. Cracks the map. Assembles Tron. Which will be assembled for the rest of the game, unfortunately. Tower. Oblivion Stone. Well, we need to spell Queller. Oh no. Alright, Chromatic Sphere. That's not too scary. Cracks it. Chromatic Star. Cracks it. We would love to draw a land here. If we can draw a land... Oh, well, that is game. That's a little unfortunate. We thought knotted one, we spell quellered one, and number 3 was in the top 15. Now we have to draw Revoker. That's not Revoker. Go to combat, attack. Yeah, this one is, I believe, over. Hit our opponent. Exile Relic. Draw Spellskite. Thoughtseize our opponent. Take Ancient Stirrings. Boy, that is... Ugh, well... We got lucky last time we played Tron, so I guess it's about time that Tron runs well. Opponent, Oblivion Stones. There goes our board. Opponent gets back an Oblivion Stone and draws a card. So even this is not helpful. Opponent, Chromatic Star. Cracks it. Sylvan Scrying. Gets Sanctum of Ugin. Plays a land. And passes. We draw. Well... Alright, I mean, we just gotta hope they don't draw things. Deputy Attention. Get rid of Oblivion Stone. Well, come on, nothing. If we get to untap with this Nullifier, we have some form of defense. Oh, alright. Well, that was some very good Tron running. Oh, boy. Well, the game plan kind of went how we hoped it would go. Regardless, we did finish with a winning record. Boy, that Tron matchup is bad. And boy, did we have to play it twice, unfortunately. But we did beat it once. So we finished with a 3-2, which means we do have a treasure chest to open before we get to our wrap-up. Ugh, boy, that is such a bad matchup. It is really... Oh, we have 2. Why do we have 2 treasure chests? Well, I guess we're opening both of them. Treasure chest, number 1. We get... Ooh, 45 play points. That's more than the treasure chest is worth, so that's not horrible. And then number 2, Jinn of Wishes isn't exciting though. Bonus treasure chest, we get Gravecrawler, Pathbreaker, Ibex, 5 play points. I don't think these cards are really worth anything. Gravecrawler is worth 79 cents. I expect Pathbreaker is worth like 0. And it's actually worth 48 cents, just because it's pretty rare, I guess. Well, alright, not horrible treasure chests. And, I mean, not a horrible deck. The deck was really sweet. I wish we didn't play Tron twice. After we miraculously managed to beat them in our 4th match, seeing them again for our last match was pretty brutal. The deck does some really cool things. We just have 0 Tron cards, but... Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. That's stuff for the wrap-up. Be right back. So what do we learn this week about Processor Blink, Esper Processor Blink for Modern? And the deck went pretty well. We played a competitive league with the deck. We ended up 3-2, which, I mean, that's a fine record. That slowly grinds you out a collection. So if you go 3-2 every time, you're not going to complain. You're coming out ahead. So, I mean, it would have been nice to go like 4-1 or 5-0, but we'll take a 3-2. That's definitely not a bad performance for the deck. So if you look at the matchups, we lost to Jund in a 3-game match, and we lost 1 of 2 to Tron. And Jund, I don't even know. Is that a bad matchup? Maybe it's a bad matchup. It felt like they just absolutely tore us apart, stuck a Tarmogoyf, stuck a Liliana, and did exactly what Jund does. And they just didn't especially care about our little synergies and tricks. They're just kind of like, all right, kill your thing, Liliana, kill your thing, make you discard. Oh my god. So that one felt like a pretty rough matchup. Tron, on the other hand, we played it twice in a row to end our league, matches 4 and 5. Going into match 4, our first matchup against Tron, I felt like the matchup was kind of unwinnable, or that we at least need to get really lucky to win. If you look at our deck, there is literally no ways to destroy lands or interact with Tron. There's a couple of Phyrexian Revokers is the only sideboard card that we really can lean on. Thoughtseize is fine, but not like game ending or anything. So we don't have much of a sideboard plan, and we managed to win that match. We lost game 1. Games 2 and 3, our opponent stumbled a little bit. We had decent draws. We were able to counter multiple things, pick apart our opponent's hand, and kind of get the tempo win. Of course, our luck ran out in match 5, where we played Tron again and lost in 2 pretty quick games. Our opponent, I guess they did run kind of well. We thought knotted them at one point, and our opponent had kind of nothing going on, but they drew the 3rd Oblivion Stone, and from there, it just kind of spiraled out of control. So, I mean, I was pretty happy that we split with Tron, considering when I look at this deck on paper, it looks like you have 0 chance of beating Tron. We're not fast enough to really race Tron before it does its thing, and we're not disruptive enough as far as what Tron is doing, like with the lands, to feel like we're very confident, but apparently just the weird incidental value of like Revoker your thing, Spell Queller your thing, Nullifier your thing, is enough to pick up the games. On the other hand, we beat Hollow One, we beat Tron once, we beat Jeskai Control, so we played a lot of top tier decks, and Esper Processor Blink was really sweet. I really love the combo of Displacer Nullifier. I think if there's one breakout card, or card I was most impressed with in this deck, it was Ulamog's Nullifier. That card is actually very powerful, countering anything for 4 mana. That's kind of a lot for Modern, but it leaves that behind a body, and when you throw in Displacer to reset it, it becomes even better, plus it's resetting our exile cards, which gives it this additional upside. So the deck is oddly synergistic, and I feel like you could probably tweak some things around the edges, like 2 spell skites. Is that really necessary in the main deck? Do we need double Deputy of Detention? How many is the right number? So there's some weird things around the edges. Definitely could consider adding some Field of Ruins or Ghost Quarters into our colorless land pile. I mean, Cavern is good, Eldrazi Temple is good, but maybe we could cut back like a Cavern or 2, and maybe the Moorland Haunt, which didn't do much in this deck, honestly. We did not get a ton of value. I think we had one game where we did stuff with Moorland Haunt. So maybe just playing a couple Ghost Quarters would be better there. And then the sideboard, it's a little bit strange. It is slightly strange. It's got a lot of reasonable cards. We don't have Stony Silence because I guess we have Ether Vial, and that's kind of a non-bow. But it feels like we might be missing some stuff. Nothing to interact with lands, no surgical extractions, although we do have Graveyard Hate, plenty of Graveyard Hate. A little bit heavy on the Lingering Souls Timely Reinforcement plan. I guess that's our kind of grind them out idea. Maybe that's how we win against Jun, is just make a bunch of Lingering Souls tokens and use that to stabilize. So I don't know. I feel like the sideboard could probably be tweaked a little bit. The main deck feels close to where I would want it to be, and most importantly, the deck was pretty fun. So if you want to lock people out of the game with some tricky blinking processing synergies, it seems competitive enough to pick up a reasonable amount of wins in Modern, and it's a pretty unique deck. Just the combo of Displacer Nullifier, pretty spicy, really cool. So I'm glad we played it. I had a lot of fun playing it. Hopefully it was also fun to watch. Anyway, that brings us to the end of our Much Abrew for this week. Eldrazi Processor Blink for Modern. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.